This is Ben with Cholinergic and in this video I'm going to go through a sort of checklist of products that I recommend that you could possibly try to reduce your symptoms. Now all of these products probably won't cure your cholinergic urticaria in and of themselves, but a lot of people have tried these. Some have reported benefits. I try some of these and I recommend these myself as well. And I'm going to go through the list, and if you go to my website cholinergicurticaria.net/products, you can find this whole list of what I'm talking about. And if you actually buy it through that page, I get a small commission on Amazon, but you can get these things in your local store too. You don't have to always buy them online. Now, when I talk over this list, the thing you should keep in mind is that you don't have to just run out and buy them all. You can buy them slowly over time. Like I'm going to talk about laundry detergent, for example. You can continue using your laundry detergent. When you run out, you can try to just switch brands if you think that it's something you want to try. Some of these products are supplements and so forth. So before you do anything on this list, always clear it with your doctor as a good safety precaution to make sure it's going to be safe for you personally. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is your water in your house. Water quality is something that can have an effect on your hives. Some people on the website have speculated that water in and of itself, like some chemical in the water, is causing their hives. That's unclear if that's true or not, but you definitely should take the precautions to make sure that your water is as pure and filtered as possible, both the water you put on your skin and the water you put in your mouth. And the first thing I want to say is if you have just really hard water, if you get a lot of scale buildup in your shower, one of the things you might want to look into is a water softener. Now that's a big ticket item. It costs about between $200 to $400 usually. If you can install it yourself, if you have to pay for installation, it could cost $100 or $200 more. But what that does is it takes some of those minerals out of the water and it will descale your water. It makes it soft and it makes it, bubbles will, you can lather soap up better in it, bubbles produce more easily and so forth, but it gets all that scale mineral out of it, all that buildup of, I think it's calcium that it takes out, and it replaces it with salt ions or something like that is how it works. But that's something you want to look into if you have really hard water. When I first moved out into our first apartment, my hives did get worse because of the water there, and you could literally just scrape off the side of the shower and you would just get white scale just coming off almost like snow. That's how quickly it would build up on there. Since we've moved in our house, which is another city, I don't have that problem at all. The water is much better quality here, so the water quality can make a big difference. I do not have a water softener in my house now because the water is better, but if I still lived in that apartment, I would have gotten a water softener. Another thing you can think about getting is a shower filter. And whether you have a water softener or not, the shower filter can help take out chlorine, and it does filter out some of the excess chemicals and stuff, but mostly it focuses on chlorine. And chlorine can have a drying effect on your skin, and it can make your hives a little bit worse. What I have is one by Colinergic, that's the brand, and it's just a screw-on shower filter. It's super easy to install. I think I just used a pair of pliers. That's all you really need for this. And just take your old shower head off, you put the filter there, and then the shower nozzles screws onto that filter. And it's real simple. They cost about 15 to 20 bucks. You have to replace the filter about once a year. I think it's cost about $8 or $10 to replace the filter. So it's a pretty inexpensive way to make the quality of your water when you take a shower a little bit better. Another thing is a Brita filter. That's what I use for my water now. I'll pour water from the tap into the Brita filter, and of course it has those filters that filters out some of the chlorine and some of the other junk. It does make the water taste better, and I recommend them. I recently actually received a report from our water company here, the city water that we get, and it said that they have found excess amounts of chemical in the water. I think it was a type of gas that results from the chlorine. Actually said it can cause cancer if you drink it. I think it said it takes 30 or 40 years to cause cancer, but it can cause cancer. So I'm probably going to look into something called a reverse osmosis filter. That's something I want to look into. You may be interested in that, and I'll probably put a link to one of those on my website as well. But that's probably what I'm going to be switching to, just to make sure, because that filters pretty much everything out of the water. Another thing that that'll take care of your water, the water softener, the shower filter, and a pitcher of Brita pitcher will mostly take care of your water issues. Another thing you can do is just to keep your skin moisturized is to use a Crane humidifier. That's the brand I bought. It kind of looks like a teardrop shape. If you go to the website, I might try to get a picture of that, but if you go to Amazon.com now, it's a little pricey. It costs $50, but it's better than others because it doesn't use a filter, and you have to replace those filters in other types of humidifiers, but this one you don't. And what a humidifier can do is during the cold winter months when your hives get a little worse, or when your skin tends to dry out a little more, you can run it in your home or in your bedroom or whatever, and it'll just kind of keep the air a little more comfortable. It'll keep your skin from drying out so much. And I use mine some during the winter, and that helps out. I've actually read a post a long time ago where one way that they treated their hives was they would run a heater and a humidifier in their room and keep it really hot and sort of muggy during the winter season, and that seemed to help them kind of keep the sweat out, and then during the summer they didn't need it. So that's something that you can keep in mind. Once I get out of the shower, I put this stuff right here on. This is Eucerin Calming Cream. I don't know if that's showing up good on video, but Eucerin Calming Cream. And I buy that on Amazon.com. It's usually about $8.99 or $9.99 for a bottle. And that is like one of the most highly rated lotions on Amazon.com. And that's how I actually found it. I was looking several years ago just to see if there's any cream, any lotion that could help. It's a high quality lotion. Now, it's not going to cure your hives. What it does is it's going to keep your skin in really good shape. And what I found with cholinergic urticaria is that when my skin's really dry, it makes my symptoms a little worse. And when my skin was in a little bit better shape, I'd still get hives and so forth, but it seemed to take the edge off a little bit. It also kind of has a cooling effect. And back when I had hives really badly, what I could do is if I was going to go to the store or something, I could kind of lather myself up with it, and it would kind of keep my skin really moist and cool feeling and kind of help lower the threshold of when I would have an attack. So if you're looking for a lotion, you can try it out. I do put it on my face. Someone asked me that once. It doesn't really cause me to break out. Every once in a while I'll get like a little pimple or something, but it's pretty good quality lotion. My wife loves it, and she uses it all the time. Another thing is you want to try to get as many hypoallergenic products as you can. Switch over time gradually to hypoallergenic, and one thing is get a moisturizing soap if you use soap. Some people don't recommend. Some people on the forum say that they don't use soap at all, or they'll just use it in the private areas and the armpits and so forth. I do use soap. It's a moisturizing soap, and it's Dove Sensitive Skin. I don't know if that's showing up, but Dove Sensitive Skin Soap. You can buy that on Amazon.com. Probably your local store has it. It's pretty good. It doesn't dry out your skin too much, and I like it. My wife loves it. So I've been using that for years now. Another thing is switch your detergent if you can. And I use all ALL free and clear detergent. It's #1 dermatologist recommended. It doesn't have all this extra dyes and scents and so forth. I never liked scents for odors or smells in my laundry anyway, because I don't want to smell like summer breeze or something. I just want my clothes to smell neutral. If I want to wear cologne or something, then it can smell like that. But all free and clear. Another thing you can do is dust mite proof your bedding. And some people with cholinergic urticaria have a very high allergy to dust mites, and that could inflame or irritate your hives, make them a little worse. Some people have reported on the site that when they dust proof things, it got a little better. And so that is a common pattern that I see that a lot of people have reported, is that they have a dust mite allergy. Just get that dust mite proof bedding. You could put it over your pillowcases, over your sheet, over your mattress, and it helps cut down on that dust mite population. I think you could get some cheap vinyl one probably for about $10 or so, maybe $15. The only downside with the vinyl is that it stinks horribly, and you're going to have to let it air out for a few days. You can also buy other brands, or another type that's made of more of a fabric thing. Those tend to run a little bit more, like maybe 40 or 50, but that's something you may want to look into. I've talked a little bit about probiotics, but I do take probiotics. I take them now. I will sometimes take a break for a few weeks or maybe even a month, but I tend to take probiotics fairly regularly. And the reason I do that is because I find that it does help keep my stomach even perfect. Even though my diet, I can go off of it and I don't have any stomach issues, but it seems to just keep my stomach in a state where it never gets inflamed or never really gets gassy that much. And even when I go on my cheat diets and stuff, those foods don't really bother me that bad. And there's some evidence that probiotics could have some slight role in food allergies and things like that. They could help even with inflammatory bowel diseases. Probiotics sometimes help with that. A lot of people will suggest that because we're a little bit more civilized now, we're not eating dirt and stuff as much, that, you know, our immune systems get overreactive sometimes because they don't have as many germs to keep them busy fighting and attacking. So the cells will sometimes attack our own body. But I don't know how much evidence for that there is, but I do take probiotics. I take Align, I take Culturelle, and I take Digestive Advantage. Out of those three, Digestive Advantage is the cheapest. It works fairly well. Those are all three pretty highly rated probiotics. You can look into them if that's something you're interested in. I take a multivitamin. Again, I take Centrum, just a plain Centrum for adults. That's just to address any possible nutritional deficiencies that I may have from my diet. Like I also will take a calcium supplement sometimes, just because I don't get a lot of calcium in my diet, and you do need, you know, a certain amount of calcium per day. You can also look into hypoallergenic air filters or furnace filters for your heat pump, and that's just going to cut down on some of the mold spores and pet dander or whatever you may have in your house. And if you do have pets, you probably want to keep them off your bed and bathe them as frequently as possible, because they can go out and roll around, and pollen and all that stuff can come in your house. And if you already have allergies or, you know, hives, all that stuff can make you a little worse. So you want to probably stay on top of cleaning your pets and get that hypoallergenic filter. Let's see here. I also recommend an exercise bike, elliptical, and weight bench. That's what I use personally. Now you can use whatever method of exercise you want. If you like to run out on the streets or whatever, that's fine. Always talk to a doctor first, but I use a stationary bike that I bought off Walmart. It's a fan type bike. I think I paid like $100 or $110 for it. They're pretty inexpensive. It squeaks and makes the most crazy noise when I use it, but it's cheap and it works, and it gets the job done. And you can also get an elliptical. They've come way down in price. You can get one for about, I think, $120, $130. And it's just a great way for those of you who want to consistently exercise, and if you want to try the sweat therapy. It's just great to have it your own system in your house, so that way you don't have to worry about going to the gym all the time, and you can do it in the privacy of your own home. That way, if you do have hives attack, you won't be as embarrassed scratching. And you can see the ones I recommend on my website. I also recommend a weight bench. I bought a weight bench. You know, I'm not a super huge muscular guy. I'm almost 6'1". I'm about 6 foot and 1/2 inch, but I weigh only about 158 pounds. But I do work out quite a bit, and I bought a weight bench off Amazon.com. I think it's the FID 46. I think is what it's called. I have it on my website, but it's incline, decline, and flat position, which helps you when you're working out. You can get the different, target different muscles and so forth. It has like 1,000 pound weight capacity. That's one of the reasons I bought it, because when you look at these cheaper weight benches on some of these sites, you read the fine print, they only have like a 250 weight capacity or something. And I'm thinking to myself, I weigh 158. If I was doing 100 pounds, like a 50-pound barbell in each hand, that's already the weight capacity right there. So that's why I went up to that specific weight bench. It did the incline, decline, flat position, and it's 1,000 pound capacity. And I wrote a review and took some pictures of that on my website. Another product I could recommend, if you take antihistamines and you talk to your doctor about them, the over-the-counter ones, Zyrtec, Allegra, or Claritin. Zyrtec and Allegra are the two best, and people have different results with them. Zyrtec really didn't help me that much, and it caused stomach pain the next day, and I didn't like it. I like Allegra, and it helped pretty well. Probably the best of all that I tried just in and of itself. As far as prescription antihistamines, I've talked about that in another video, but hydroxyzine and doxepin are two that you could possibly try. Again, with the antihistamine thing, you just want to try different ones to see what works for you. You may try one and it does nothing. Another one may actually give you quite a bit of relief. So that's something you can keep in mind. And some of those are over the counter. Just talk to your doctor first. And the last product I'm going to recommend is just cool clothing. Whenever you're buying clothing at the store, if you're having hives right now, just keep in mind that you can buy those shirts that are a little bit more thin. Watch out for dark color clothing in the summertime if you're going to be out, because the sun will heat you up. Some people buy squirt bottles and kind of take them with them and squirt themselves, or a bottle of water, and they kind of secretly douse themselves whenever they get a little itchy. I've done crazy stuff like that. Whenever I'd be mowing my yard, sometimes I'd have to stop, go saturate my shirt with using the water hose, put my shirt on when it's soaking wet, and soak myself off, and then I'd mow for about another hour or 30 minutes or so till it dried in the hot sun, and then I'd go do it again once I got itchy. But those are some products that I recommend. You can, again, go to my website, cholinergicurticaria.net/products, and you can look at all the different products on the page that I've talked about in this video. So thanks so much for watching. In another video, I'm going to talk about all the things I do for curing my hives. I'm going to talk a little bit more about exercise maybe, and a few other things. So thanks so much for watching.